Holy shit, he actually did it.
Steve.
Xanathar sends its regards.
Bloom!
Welcome back to the Quarantine Games. We are resuming our legendary quest of social distancing and Dungeons and Dragons. We may be socially distant, but through the magic of make-believe, we're all closer than ever. Last we met, our brave heroes took to the streets of Waterdeep to track down Floon Blogmar, the missing friend of their new acquaintance, writer-celebrity Volothamp Getarm. After gathering some intel at the aftermath of a Zentrim Xanathar street scuffle, they made their way down to the dock ward, where a kindly merchant pointed them in the direction of Floon's last known whereabouts, a crusty dive bar by the name of the Skewered Dragon. How you doing? Are you ready to, is this
Doing good
a
right
balm
now.
in these uneasy times?
I find myself becoming Stephanos in my day-to-day life, weirdly.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like there's a lot of overlap there. You're a very positive person.
Maybe.
And you radiate love for people.
Right.
Is that fair to say? Is that?
You know, the whole storyline of, 12 siblings, possibly true.
Possibly.
All dead?
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Love
this
you,
chair's
Alvin and
uncomfortable. I'm gonna switch this chair out.
Okay, great. We might as well get this out of the way.
This has been helping me get my aggression out. I like being a mean lady.
Yeah, it's fun, right?
Oh, it's so fun.
I was having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich today out on the balcony, and I realized that the squirrel that I'd been seeing every morning was gone. I don't know if that means he's sick now or if he's practicing social distancing, but
Didn't you have a funny little name for him?
Lenny.
Lenny. Okay, so I think last we left off, you guys actually had just breached the doorway of the Skewered Dragon and received a bit of a cold reception. So let's pick up there. The Skewered Dragon is certainly no yawning portal. As watering holes go, it's more of a slurping pit. The handful of patrons seem annoyed by your entrance, but quickly return to their own affairs. A very hairy man behind the bar gives you an unwelcoming nod.
I think we should, what if could I use one of my little spells here? My cantrip?
Whoa. Spells already.
It's a friend spell, it makes him my friend.
Oh, well, let's do a
okay,
perception
okay.
check. What if they're not actually upset with us?
Sure, I guess we could do a perception check.
I rolled a 14, and then I have a +2.
There's not a lot of people here. Again, they're kind of chatting in tight little groups. There appears to be a bard tuning his instrument up on a little makeshift stage. There's a bartender
fellow
behind the
bard.
bar, and he, as I said, does not look very friendly. And in the crowd, there's maybe like 3 or 4 people. Not a whole lot of people. But again, most people are sort of keeping to their own and avoiding making eye contact with you.
Let me ask you this, narrator. How good is this bard?
Probably better than you.
Is he better than me? I doubt it. This guy looks like a hack.
He's got a beautiful lute and some beautiful flowing robes, blue
Wow.
and orange. He looks like a
Sounds like
fairly serious artist.
It's okay, Steve. You seem to have quite the
doubt
skills.
it.
I heard you sing last episode. You were pretty good, you're pretty good.
Don't patronize me, Stephanos. I don't really need to hear your fake shit.
I'm for real. You made my insides tingo.
What?
Oh,
What the hell are you talking about, Stephan?
All right, let's get a table, won't we?
yeah, let's get a table.
Despite that last statement, sure, let's get a table.
You sit down at a table, and again, no one is talking to you. The bartender is not seemingly interested in serving you, so you're at a table.
Okay, well, we should probably find out some information. Steve, do you want to go talk to the bard, or?
Here's the thing. We need to get that bartender's attention, so I'd love to take out my crossbow and aim it right at the glass that the bartender has in his hand.
Okay.
I don't like the way he's looking at me, and frankly, I think this is the best way for me to kill 2 birds in 1 stone. I could intimidate that shitty bard on stage, and I could show this bartender who actually runs this bar, Steve.
Yeah, let's
Steve
do it.
runs this bar. Okay. You take out your crossbow and you point it at the bartender. He
Yeah.
looks up and says, "Oh, whoa, what do you think you're doing here?
I'm about to fire this crossbow.
Why don't you roll an intimidation check?
Ah, shit, looks like I rolled a 5. Plus my 3, though, means I got an 8, so at the very least, I missed the glass and I hit him in the arm or something.
All right, so you raise your crossbow. The bartender does not look happy with you. Suddenly, from behind you, someone grabs your crossbow and says, "Hey, the performance about to start. How about you keep it down, you little rat?" And they throw your crossbow across the bar to the bartender, and he says, "You to pull any stuff like that again, I'm gonna have you out of here. Why don't you pipe down right now while we listen to our wonderful show, and if you behave well enough, I'll give you this back when all is said and done." As the lights lower, the people around you start hushing you, and they say, "Will you be quiet? The Candyman is about to go on."
The Candyman?
From the stage, the man in his beautiful robes, and he has like one of those little haircuts where he looks like a little sort of prince or pauper.
Oh, brother, this guy really is a hack.
He says, "Hello, everyone. It is me, Candemere Wispin, the finest bard in all of Waterdeep, and I am here to play my songs for you." Everyone cheers when he starts to take out his lute and sing his little songs. And understand, there's no lyrics to them. It's simply just almost like vocal jazz. And he starts going, and people
Jesus
are
Christ,
rapt
make
with
it
attention.
stop.
They're loving it.
Wow, he's so good. He's the best musician
Unbelievable.
I've ever heard. I can't believe I've never heard anything so good.
Here's the thing, Kez, I know you're trying to get a rise out of me because there's no way you could enjoy this audio diarrhea that's coming out of this man's mouth.
Why don't you get up there, Steve?
You want me to get up there on stage and embarrass this man?
Steve.
Well, now you're interrupting the performance. All right, if you want me to get up there and show this man how it's done.
Yeah, get up on stage. Get your lute out.
Do it. You do
Right
you.
there, it's next to you.
All right, here's a... Oh my God. All right, the guitar may be a little out of tune, and
The lute is out of tune.
the lute may be a little out of tune, and I really haven't played that much, so you know, there's just a couple things that I'm working out, and this is just something I've been kicking around.
Why don't you roll a performance check?
Performance +5. It looks like I rolled a 25.
Oh, jeez.
Well, you can strum a few chords then and sing a song for the crowd.
Here's a song I can't really sing while playing at the same time. It's kind of a coordination thing that I'm working through. I hurt my wrist earlier in the forest when I was cutting some mushrooms.
Here we
God,
go.
just play.
Yeah, that's I don't think I need to say any more than that, you know, just a little simple G chord there.
The audience is seemingly won over by this performance. Despite its simplicity, perhaps it speaks to some sort of complex emotion that you tapped into. Even Candemere on stage, a little tear drips from his eye and he says, "It reminds me of my dead sister. You, sir, are certainly a poet." Well, after a performance like that, I don't think I should follow it up. I don't want to put you to shame, so I'm going to go wax up my lute a little bit, if that's a thing anybody does. And
Yeah, I'm sure you are gonna go
Take
wax
5.
up your lute.
well, it seems like the attitude in the room has shifted in your favor a little bit, so maybe if you strike up a conversation with one of these people, they might be willing to help you track down your pal.
I'm gonna do a perception check then. Looks like I rolled a 13.
Okay, well, you can see there's like four or five people in the crowd here among the tables. Most of them seem pretty friendly. There's the bartender who looks a bit rough around the edges. There's a little tiny fellow over at a table with a big cap on. There's a very bulky sort of gnomish looking woman over in the corner. She's talking to a very skinny man with no teeth.
I would like to speak to the lady in the corner with the skinny man with no teeth. Let's go chat
Sure.
with them. You know, when you go with a group of people, it's a little bit less intimidating.
The woman seems a little caught off guard because this doesn't seem like a very friendly sort of Cheers type place, but she sees you and the group of you and she says, hello, how are you all?
You know, we're doing quite well. We just stumbled upon this lovely bar that we've entered. Can you tell us a bit more about this place, the Skewer Dragon, you know, is it a hot spot here at the dock? And do you see a lot of crime happen here at the Skewer Dragon?
Yeah, it's the dock ward, dummy. Of course there's crime out here.
Have you ever heard of a character named Flume?
It's not in anybody's best interest to be divulging information about what you're seeing out here in the dock ward, so I'm gonna need a little more persuasion if you want some details out of me.
Alrighty, you know, I was unwilling to do this. I really did not want to do this. I'm going to use some persuasion on you. And, yes, it is true. When I was a young boy, they called me Sexy Stephanos. But then I realized, kind of like Peter Parker, I had a power within me that I needed to use. My uncle Johnny would always tell me with great body comes great responsibility. So
sounds like a creepy uncle.
We're going to take off our jacket
Oh, hell yeah.
and show off my banging bod. You know, I do break stereotypes of my creature. We're not known to be banging bods. Now tell me, I'm gonna roll for persuasion. Look straight into my bicep while I ask you.
Now that you say that, I'm checking my wallet. It looks like I'm short a couple bills because I got some tickets to the gun show. This is great.
I can't help myself. I accidentally tip Stephanos without even realizing what I'm doing. I just like, I'm blinded.
I think Keza wants to bang Stephanos.
I rolled a 13. I have a +4 persuasion. What say you, lady?
Honestly, this little lady doesn't look that impressed. In fact, her eyes sort of start to wander a bit, but then you notice she looks a little tipsy, lightheaded, and sort of falls and stumbles and catches herself on the table. And she goes, "Hachi machi. Now those are some sweet, sweet muscles, baby. Whatever you want to know, I'm happy to divulge."
Jesus.
Do you know Flume?
Well, yes, I've seen that guy around. He was here a few days ago, I think, actually. He was with that celebrity guy.
Volo.
Yeah, Volo. They were gambling together. Then Volo had to leave, but Flume stayed behind, and he... Who was it that... it was Renair Neverember. Do you know that guy?
No.
Yeah, Renair Neverember showed up, and the two of them had some rounds of gambling. Someone else in the bar hears the name Renair Neverember mentioned, and they say, "Chip off the old block, that one. A pox upon his family. Hop, poof!" And he spits. And someone else says, "Just another rich, spoiled noble who likes to rub our noses in it." They're clearly not big fans of this Renair fella.
What does Renair look like?
Renair? Oh, he actually looks quite a bit like Flume. They look like they could be brothers, honestly. It's hard to miss him. He's a rich man. Takes after his father.
Tell me something, ma'am. Does this Flume guy, is he actually as handsome as they say he is? I'm just kind of curious.
I'd say he's pretty handsome. Yeah, I'd say they both were pretty handsome. As I said, they looked pretty similar. Yeah, they did some rounds of gambling, then they left, and then I saw these 5 burly fellas. They were wearing leather armor, and they followed him out into the streets. And that's the last I saw of him.
As far as you're aware, is Flume associated with either the Zentarims or the Zenithars?
Oh, I don't know about that, but wouldn't surprise me.
What do you mean wouldn't surprise you?
Everyone's picking sides these days. I'm trying to stay neutral. Us down here at the dock wards, we got work to do.
What about Neverember? Is he associated with either of the gangs?
Well, his father was, as you know, the previous Open Lord, and he... Oh, did you not know that?
Dagalt.
Oh yeah, okay, so you know Dagalt Neverember, the previous Open Lord. He got ousted from his position because people thought he was up to no good. But I don't know too much about that. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen any of them since then, after those fellas followed him out. I feel like I've seen those fellas before, the ones, those 5 burly fellas. I see them down at that warehouse down the street.
Any of these burly fellas have any kind of funny tattoos on their face, like eyes?
One of them had what looked to be like a snake with wings, I think?
Like a dragon?
Well, yeah, maybe, I guess a little bit. It looked pretty shoddy. But yeah, I saw, it's actually pretty funny because the warehouse that they hang out with has on the door, there's a snake with wings. I guess that's the same thing. Yeah, it never occurred to me till now, but yeah. Weird to get a tattoo of a thing that's also on the door of the place where you hang out,
Well, thank you so much for your time. It seems like you are a little bit inebriated, so make sure you get some rest tonight and...
I didn't even have any drinks tonight, but as soon as you showed off your sparkling toned bod, I got kind of just lightheaded.
Yeah, well, he is a small glass of water.
Yes, he is.
All right,
Stephanos, why don't you bless her and then we can be on our way.
Oh, right. As I do with everybody that I come across, and especially in this part of town, I feel like I'm going to leave with your blessing. So I bless you, and also you with the no teeth that you may maybe get some teeth one day, and we're on our way. I want to sidebar with my two friends for just one moment. I have a bone to pick with them. That is going to be the final time I ever use my bangin' bod for persuasion. I do not feel good about, I feel disgusting. Give me my jacket.
Glad to hear it.
Stephanos, I apologize. That was probably out of line. I knew that it would work, and so I wanted to put our best foot forward in our effort to recover Floon. From now on, I'll just go back to cutting people in half then.
Much better.
So we have a next destination, but it's worth talking to the bartender, at least to get your crossbow back. If not, maybe he can tell us something else.
Or I could shove a sword up his butthole. That could be something that will be interesting to me too. But yeah, we could talk to him too, and then butthole second first. It doesn't really matter to me. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Bartender, could we have the crossbow back from my friend Steve over here?
You want
Hey,
crossbow
big head.
back from Sling John, huh?
Sling John.
I didn't like the way you were pointing that around earlier, but I will say you did sing a very pretty song. It made me think of my son.
I apologize, and I will say at first I thought you knew as many syllables as you had brain cells, but I will say now that I can see that you're actually a well-intentioned dude, and I apologize. I'm glad you liked my song. I'd appreciate it if you gave me my crossbow back. It's just, we got off on the wrong foot. How about that?
Sling John Hart, very happy. He give you crossbow.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we should go to that warehouse, right? We got.
Let us proceed.
To the warehouse.
Okay, you exit the Skewered Dragon and head down the street to Candle Lane, which is where the young woman directed you toward. Gloom envelops a narrow alley as dark as a dungeon, and as odorous as one too. Nearly all the street lamps have been smashed. The only light that pierces the darkness is a faint flickering from down the lane, like a distant candle. One of the few points of light on the street is a flickering candle, and you could see in the glow of it off to the side is what appears to be a warehouse with a painted snake with wings on the entry gate. It is at the back of a yard, and the yard is sort of fenced in with a tall fence.
Can I got my super orc eyes where I can see in the darkness. Can I do a sort of an observation to see if there's anything else I can?
You can do a perception check.
Sure, great. Ooh, I rolled a 16.
You spy a gate. It doesn't appear to be heavily padlocked or anything, so you can go check that out.
All right, well, I don't know, guys. You want to go straight up to it? All right. You don't assume anything bad could happen. You're just going to walk in.
No, why not?
It'll be fine. If anything happens, you'll just kill him, so it doesn't really matter to me.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and unsheath my longsword, though, or my greatsword. I'm going to just be at the ready.
As you peer into this yard, doesn't seem to be anyone around. You can see this warehouse. It's about 2 stories, wooden, fairly dilapidated looking. You see there's a doorway to one area. It's almost like an L. And on one portion of it, you can see a doorway. On the other portion, there's a big sort of cargo bay door, and then a window that's sort of painted over. You can approach the building if you'd like to see if there's any easy access points.
I'm a halfling, I'm a little shorty over here, so, not the other kind of shorty, but so I'm gonna walk over to the window, I take my hand and I wipe off the fog and I look
Not the other
inside.
kind of shorty.
And what
He's a shorty with a
inside?
banging bot.
I think you might be my shorty, you know what I'm saying?
What is that inside? I'm looking inside the window. What do I see?
You don't see anything because the windows are actually painted from the inside. So you wiped at it, but didn't hear anything.
Okay, I take a dagger and
you smash it through the window.
I'm busting through the window.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a little strength check.
I rolled an 18, baby.
Okay.
Take that.
You smash your dagger through the window, and with the window now smashed open, you can hear some faint scuffling inside and some hushed whispers, and then all is quiet again. So, from where the window is, you can reach around to unlatch the big cargo door if you'd like to enter through there.
Wow, the door just wedged open. That's crazy. Hey, Stefanos, how you doing?
All right, we walk in.
As you spy the room, you notice that tables and chairs have been carelessly tossed across the floor, and in the corner, the corpses of a dozen men lie along the walls, their rapiers and daggers lying nearby. On the north side of the area, the stairs rise up to an open level up above.
I love what they've done with the place. This looks really comforting and inviting, especially all the corpses nailed to the wall. Let's go upstairs.
Before you make your way too far into the room, you hear a and a large, feathered, crow-like humanoid jumps out. There's two of them that actually jump out directly in front of you. You can see further across the room, there's a couple more that jump out. All right, why don't you guys roll for initiative?
Yeah.
Oh no!
Come up.
I rolled a 20.
I rolled a 2, initiative +1, so 3.
Ooh, I have a 7.
So one of these terrifying bird-like creatures jumps straight out at Keza, and he swings his sword at you. That is a hit.
Wow.
That's gonna be 5 piercing damage.
Oh no.
And then he jumps back behind the crates nearby. All right, so the second Kenku swings its sword wildly in the direction of poor little Steve. And these creatures are not very dexterous, and that is a stone-cold miss. Swing and a miss, he kind of stumbles past you. Next up is Stefanos.
I have a cantrip that I would like to use at this point. It's a sacred flame. I reach into my pocket, and like a magic trick, I pop out the sacred flame. I blow it, and it extinguishes, I hope, the 2 creatures that have attacked my friends.
I'm gonna roll for those 2. One of them does not succeed. The other one does not succeed. So roll a D8.
Oh! I rolled an 8!
Holy shit, he actually did it.
They sort of ruffle their feathers a bit and they look miffed. They're a little dazed, they're not into this. They don't like being caught by surprise like this. Next up is Steve.
All right, I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave. I'm gonna roll myself a D20 to see how this fares. Looks like I rolled a 17.
Okay, so these 2 creatures are within your area of influence. You're gonna cast a Thunder Wave at them. They're gonna do a Constitution save. One is saved, and the other one is not saved.
Hell yeah.
So why don't you cast 2d8 for damage to one of the creatures.
And I rolled a 9 total.
Okay, you cast Thunder Wave.
There you go, Steve!
The one bird creature who you deal the most damage to, he flies across the room and hits the wall. Feathers explode out of him and he sort of crumples to the ground. He looks like he's pretty much down for the count. So
bye-bye, birdie.
Next up is Kenku number 3, who is across the room. He shoots his little crossbow in your direction. He has a little short bow. He's shooting it at Keza. The bolt doesn't come anywhere near you, sails past your head. Next up is Keza.
All right, I'm gonna fuck up Kenku number 2.
Okay.
All right, I lean in, I roll a 15.
Okay, that is you connect. Why don't you roll for damage?
I roll a 3 and a 2, totaling 5.
You succeed in lopping the Kenku's head off. The other two Kenku across the room, seeing their two Kenku buddies now lifeless, seem to freak out a bit and start to run toward the door. So they seem ready to flee. You guys have triumphed here. You can either go after them or try to kill them, maybe ask them for information. Up to you.
I believe we should stop them and imprison them and find out why they attacked us.
All right, Steve, use your crossbow to keep the door jammed from opening, to lock them in.
Yeah, I love that. It's like a red wedding situation.
Why don't you roll for athletics, I guess?
Looks like I rolled the, after the modifier, I had 13 plus 3, that's 16.
All right, you shoot your crossbow at the door. It's successful. The bolt wedges right in the lock, and the two terrified Kenku turn and look at you guys. They seem to be cowering a bit, going,
How's it going, my feathered pals? I'm Legolas.
The one Kenku looks at you and says,
How's it going, my feathered pals? I'm Legolas.
You think that's funny mimicking me? You think that's funny? You think you're a funny guy?
You think that's funny mimicking me? You think you're a funny guy?
Let me have you repeat this. If you repeat what I say again,
repeat what I say.
I'm gonna have Keza here cut your head off.
I'm gonna have Keza here cut your head off.
Well, you leave me no choice.
All right, everybody stop here. Everybody stop. I'm going to speak to the little birdies. What is this place?
it looks a little nervous, and then it says,
Xanathar sends its regards.
What the hell?
Who is Xanathar?
It ruffles a bit, it looks a little twitchy, and then it says,
no time to loot the place. Just get them to the boss.
Where is the boss?
Follow the yellow signs in the sewer.
You mean to tell me they could actually speak this entire time and they've just been copying me to mock me?
Well, no, they're repeating stuff that they heard earlier. This is stuff that the people who ran out were saying.
Oh, that's right. Wow. Brilliant mind, Keza. You're not just a big orc.
Tie up the pretty boy, put him in the back room. Tie up the pretty boy, put him in the back room.
Oh, he might still be here.
Either that or we're gonna find a very attractive skeleton duct taped to a chair.
from the back room you hear a bit of a scuffle.
Well.
And you hear someone say, "Help me!"
Floon!
That's that. Oh, who knows who's in the back room? We'll find out next week. It's a cliffhanger. Well, I think that caps it for this week. Next week, join us as we find out who's in the back room in our ongoing quest to find our good pal, Floon Blogmar. Are you guys excited for next week?
I can't wait to see who's in that back room.
You messed up those weird crow people, so that's fun.
And it smells like chicken in here now.
Oh, that's good, that's good. We'll see you next time for the Quarantine Games here with another session of social distancing and Dungeons and Dragons.